All right, what is up? We are live. Hope everybody is doing good this race day. Let's jump right into the paint scheme previews and we'll get to the rest of what we need to get to here. Ross Chastain with the Kubota Chevrolet, the orange and the black. Good looking scheme for sure. Menard's going to be on the side of Austin Cindric, a familiar scheme. Team Penske over there. Winchester with the camo going to be on the side of Austin Dillon's number 3 Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Beefaroo back on the side once again for the number 4 of Noah Gregson and his Ford Mustang Dark Horse. HendrickCars.com, the classic scheme there for Kyle Larson. A very good track for him. We're going to get to that in just a minute as well. And next Lizette, excuse me, on the side of Brad Keselowski's number 6. Got the pink, got the gold, got the white, and got the black. I like the car. I think it's a good scheme. I think it's going to be probably in my top 5 here so far, as the ones we're going through here. Anyway, number 7, Gainbridge, classic scheme, getting to be a classic scheme, I should say, for them. Bank OZK, going to be on the side of the number 8. A little bit of a different look this week for Kyle Busch. Got the red, the gray, and the black, and then with a white hood there. Good looking car as well. Unifirst, solid green just about for Chase Elliott. Got one little strip here of either neon green or yellow, and then you got some gray on the underside of the car for the number 9 Chevrolet there. Let's see. Seabest going to be on the side of the number 10 for Ty Dillon. And then we got Denny Hamlin's number 11 Petty Blue Progressive car. I think a lot of people like this one. I think it's a good, solid scheme here. So I'm going to definitely put that one in my top 5 as well. Dent Wizard on the side here. A little bit of a change up here on the Dent Wizard Ford Mustang Dark Horse for Ryan Blaney in the number 12. So good looking car there. Got some yellow and some white and some orange mixed in. Typically it's just a blue and white car, but now we got some orange and yellow built into it. So I'm going to say this is a good one as well. I'm going to put that in the running. Number 16, Action Industries on the side of AJ Allmendinger, white, black, and then gold trim. Rich Farms going to be on the side of the number 17 for Chris Buescher, the green, the white, and the cheese stick. I don't know if cheese stick is a color, but it's a color today because it's got the cheese sticks on the side of the number 17 Mustang. The Bass Pro Shops Bass scheme, spring sale there going on at the Bass Pro Shops. Number 19, Chase Briscoe going to be driving that car around, letting everybody know that it's going on. He raced this one either the other week or the week before as well. So not a brand new scheme. It has been run before. Number 12, Ream. We've seen this one a number of times with Christopher Bell. Classic scheme for them. 21, Dex Imaging on the side of Josh Berry's number 21, Wood Brothers. Ford Mustang, Dark Horse, race winner from Las Vegas, Josh Berry. Red, then it sort of fades into with some digital dots, I guess you could say. Fades into some white, and then on the backside, it fades into black. So white, red, black, and it fades in with digital dots. Kind of an interesting scheme there. Number 22, Pennzoil Mustang. This is the normal, I guess, going to be the normal paint scheme for the Pennzoil, Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang for Joey Logano in the 22 this week. Here we go. Columbia with the number 23 for Bubba Wallace. You're either going to like this one or you're not. It's teal, it's pink. I like teal and pink combo. It's got a little bit of blue mixed into it too, sort of a fish scale look. So you're either going to like this one or you're not. I like this scheme. I think it's a good looking scheme. Columbia has, in my opinion, hit it out of the park there. But some people don't like the fish scale schemes. Like I was saying a few weeks ago with the number 19 Bass Pro Shops. Same one he's running today, actually, for Chase Briscoe. You either like the fish scale schemes or you don't. You either like the pink and the teal or you don't. So it's going to be polarizing, but I like that one. I got it in my top 5. 24 Valvoline, I'm also going to put in my top 5. You got 2 different shades of blue. You got the red and the white, and it's just a really good-looking car here for Fast Willie B, William Byron, another member of the Killer Bees there. 34 Loves for Todd Gilliland, a classic scheme for them. 35 Chumba Casinos, looking like the Laughing Clown malt liquor machine for Riley Herbst. I like it. A lot of people don't like it, but I like it because it takes it back to that Laughing Clown malt liquor car. That's exactly what it looks like or reminds me of for the number 35 of Riley Herbst. 38 Aaron's Dream Machine here for Zane Smith. So there you go. Zane Smith got sort of a swoop going across the 38s, and then you got the Aaron's on the back, different shades of blue. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not my favorite paint scheme, but it is a scheme nonetheless. We can say that about it. The 41 HaasTooling.com going white and mostly black, mostly a black and white car here today for Cole Custer. A little bit of red trim around the Haas Tooling naming. But other than that, just a black and white car for Cole Custer. See what he can do today here in this race. 42, Pyre Barker Fire and Safety Equipment on the side of John Nemechek's number 42 Toyota Camry. Almost said Toyota Camry Dark Horse. So we have a hybrid Toyota Camry Dark Horse. Family Dollar going to be on the side of it's a refreshed scheme, and I think it looks a lot better this season than it has previously. The gold and the black and the whites I always like, and then you throw in a splash of color with the either highlight. I don't know. It's either orange or yellow depending on your perspective, and then the red looks really good on the side of Eric Jones' number 43 Toyota Camry. Then the 45 got the Jordan brand on the side of Tyler Reddick's. This is another good looking one. This is going to be the other car in my top 5 here for Tyler Reddick. It's a really good looking car. Just a bunch of colors fading into other colors. I like this one here on the 45 for sure. 47 better. The Jake Paul backed betting sites on the side, obviously promoting March Madness here on the number 47 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Had Hulk Hogan last week, Jake Paul this week. Hopefully the stream doesn't freeze up on him. Let's see. Alex Bowman with the number 48 Ally Unrivaled League Chevrolet. I think this is the one that was designed by the WNBA players, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure, but I think I'm remembering that correctly. But different shades of purple and blue fading into each other. Pretty good looking scheme. And then they've got some graffiti toward the back of it. 51 Jacobs car for Cody Ware. We've seen that one before. The classic 54 Monster of Ty Gibbs, the matte black with the white number. And then we've got the number 60 Build Submarines, another one we've seen a few times before here for Ryan Priest. Nice finish for Ryan Priest last week, that third place finish. 71 Delaware Life for Michael McDowell and the Spire Motorsports Chevrolet. Let's see. 77 Ziegler here on the side of Carson Hocevar, and then the 88 Jockey for Shane Van Gisbergen, number 88 Chevrolet Camaro. Well, not Camaro anymore. It's just the Chevrolet, I guess. And the 99freeway.com. But Shane Van Gisbergen, American flag. Nothing screams America more than a New Zealander driving the American flag. Daniel Suarez in the number 99 freewayinsurance.com Chevrolet as well. We've seen that one before. The white, the green, the blue. And I forgot to give you guys the link, so I'm going to do that real quick right here, just in case you want to see what I was talking about as I was running through them. So there you go. If you want to see what cars I was talking about, there's the link. Forgot to drop it in earlier. And let's get to who's got the best average finish, and then we'll see if this average finish translated to qualifying any at all. Best average finish here at Homestead, believe it or not, is C-Bell, the Killer Bee. C-Bell, best average finish of 5.3 in the last 3 races since February of 2022. AJ Allmendinger next with 3 races as well at 5.3, so tied with Christopher Bell. So if you want to burn another AJ Allmendinger start, don't make sure you save them for all of his road course races in your fantasy league, but this would be a good one to sneak in. AJ Allmendinger, a Ryan Blaney, no surprise there, another Killer Bee, but an average finish of 7.0. William Byron, 7.3. Carson Hocevar in his one race did finish in 9th place here last year. Kevin Harvick not in the race. Josh Berry, though, is in the race, and he has an average finish of 11.0 because he's raced one race here and finished in 11th. Chase Elliott, 11.3 in his 3 races here. Ryan Priest in his 2 races here, 11.5, 12.0 for Bubba Wallace in 2 races as well. Tyler Reddick, 13.0 average finish in his 3 races. Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Larson going to round out your top 15-ish there as far as average finish. Previous winners in the last 3 races: Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell. So there are going to be your previous winners. Let's take a look at who's got the most top 10s here, because some people like to track that for entertainment purposes only. AJ Allmendinger has 3 top 10s in 3 races, 2 apiece for Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney. So Austin Dillon might be a nice little sneaky pick here if you want to put him in your lineup for possibly a top 10. If you need like sort of a driver you're on the fence on there, probably a lot of people not thinking about him. And I would say probably a lot of people not thinking about Just got back from South Boston. So about thinking about AJ Allmendinger as well. So there you go. Lap leaders 296 for Kyle Larson, 100 for Ryan Blaney, 98 for Tyler Reddick. Those are going to be your main three. Nobody else is close to 100. 81 for Chase Elliott would be the next on that list. And there's a significant drop off to 57 for William Byron. So as far as lap leaders go, who has seemed, I guess, been in front the most here? Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson. And then we go to driver averages. Scoring or rating system, they've got Kyle Larson as your favorite at a 117, 111 for William Byron, 111.8 for William Byron, 111.4 for Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick a 107, everybody else in the 99s or lower. Denny Hamlin, your best of the 90s with 99.7. Your best of the 90s on K-Rock. Anyway, so there you go. There are your numbers. And if I had to pick a winner of this race, I'm going to pick either Tyler Reddick or Kyle Larson. So a big surprise there. And of course, I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. Strong first name. And that's who I'm going to go with. If I had to pick a wild card to win this race, I would say probably Carson Hocevar, Josh Berry, although I don't know if he'll be considered a wild card now. And maybe just because the numbers sort of line up for him, a good track for Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon likes to come in here and get a win every once in a while when nobody's thinking about him. So this could be one of those tracks where he gets that done. All right, let's look at your qualifying order and how all those statistics played out in qualifying. JJ Yaley bringing up the rear of the field. He's going to be my pick for the winner on Earth 2 to finish last on Earth 1. Cody Ware is just in front of him. SVG, not a great qualifying effort in the Jockey American Flag Chevrolet for him, but hopefully he can have a better run in the race. Ty Dillon not faring much better here in 34th. Then you got teammate Daniel Suarez to Shane Van Gisbergen just as low in 33rd. Brad Keselowski, poor qualifying effort as well, 32nd. Ryan Preece, his teammate, just ahead of him. Austin Dillon, even though he's got good numbers here, not the greatest of qualifying efforts, rolling off in 30th. Drivers that did crack into the 20s at least, though. Todd Gilliland, Eric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain, your fastest of the Trackhouse drivers in 25th. 24th through 20th are going to be Cole Custer, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, and Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, good numbers here, but only a 20th place qualifying effort. Could be concerning for all of those drivers, but maybe they just missed the lap. I don't know. I was at the racetrack, didn't get to see any of it, to be totally honest with you. Riley Herbst starting off in 19th. Chase Elliott going to be 18th. Zane Smith going to be 17th, Christopher Bell 16th, and your top 15 going to be Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, and then your 10th place man, AJ Allmendinger. Like I said, his numbers play out, so I feel strong about him. Bubba Wallace, also a good track for him if you want to sneak him in as maybe one of your upset winners. Starting off in 9th place here, Austin Cindric in the 8th place. John Hunter Nemechek going to be rolling off 7th, and Ryan Blaney going to be 6th place. And here is your top 5. The 5th place man going to be having a great season, leading the points. Fast B, William Byron, one of the killer bees. Chase Briscoe, another killer bee, having an up and down season, but that's what Chase Briscoe does. Starting off in the 4th place here, Noah Gragson with a nice qualifying effort here in 3rd place. Josh Berry, last week's winner, another one of the killer bees in 2nd, and another killer bee. Alex Bowman, don't sleep on Bad Luck Bowman the showman, whatever you want to call him. He's starting off in 1st place in the Ally Unrivaled League Chevrolet. He is your pole winner. As far as fantasy goes, my fantasy picks are Alex Bowman, Josh Berry, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, and I got Bubba Wallace in the garage. So there you go. Those are the fantasy picks. The league standings as it is right now. Let's see. Nope, went to the wrong standing, so we're not going to do that. Let's see here. Oh, man. Here we go. Here's the league standings. One Wise Guy continues to be your leader. Kevin, 27 in 2nd. Catskill Mountain Racing 3rd. Like Dislike 4th. Tied with Shaw for 4th at 895. Zachary Mungro going to be in 6th. Tied with Seekonk Speedway Girl. And Enzo in 8th place. Chicken Nuts is in 9th. And Redneck Racing is in 10th place. There you go. There's your top 10 in fantasy. Now let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. Jamie Schweitzer saying first like. Fist bump for the first like there, Jamie Schweitzer. Which was who has a better chance of winning here? Busch, Blaney, Bubba, or Briscoe? By the numbers, I would say Ryan Blaney. So I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney of those two options. Do have a poll question: who's going to finish better? Typically, the two people that everybody talks about at Homestead are Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. So I just made that the poll question. Looks like 78% right now are going with Kyle Larson over Reddick, though I guess based on that qualifying effort. I'll be attending the third annual Joey Logano Foundation concert for charity at 7 p.m. Coyote Joe's on May 20th, featuring Jordan Davis. Hey, so there you go. Joey Logano always looking out for the community and doing great things outside of the race cars. So that's a cool deal, Jamie Schweitzer. Glad you'll be attending that. And if you're in that area and want to attend, there are the details. So get up and see if you can check out Jordan Davis over there. What's up in between the lanes? What's up, PC Gone Road? Good to see you guys on here. Happy race day, everyone. Time to run the rails and put the race in the driver's hands until 5 laps to go when NASCAR needs a caution, says Cody Ledger. It seems to go like that quite often. Whether it's scripted or not, it definitely seems to go like that quite a bit. The Brain saying, hey, BB, what an opener at Sobo. Was a ton of fun. Can't wait to see Door Bumper Clear to hear what Tommy Baldwin has to say about it. Says the Brain. So, yeah, the modifieds took them 2.5 hours to run 125 laps, and there was a lot of bruised egos, a lot of there was a fight at the racetrack. Two guys got into a strangling match with their helmet, and there was not probably, I don't know if it was on camera or not, a lot of hurt feelings on pit road, a lot of people talking shit, to be totally honest with you. It was an interesting day, always a good day when the modifieds showed up, but the main thing was they had whose cars did they have there? Roy Hendrick and Richie Evans. This is the first time seeing Evans modified ever up close and in person. I took some pictures of it. Super cool car. Really glad I got to see it in person as well. BB, add that Josh Berry, Jim Clark scheme to the long list of NASCAR diecast, says in between the lanes. Yeah, so the Josh Berry Darlington throwback, I think, is going to be super popular for sure. Jimmy Howard, I thought racing was pretty good in trucks and Xfinity. Hoping today will be good as well. I haven't seen either one of them. I know Kyle Larson spun in the truck race. I know Corey Heim had some problems as well, but ended up Kyle Larson winning that race. And then, I don't know, there was some type of controversy on the restart with Larson and Sam Mayer, maybe. But I haven't seen any of it. Just sort of read some Discord chatter, I should say. Discord link is going to be dropped somewhere in here at some point. Let's see. Barry's British Racing green Lotus throwback to Jimmy Clark is awesome. I agree. I think it's a really good car, and just the whole story behind it makes it really cool too. The fact that they're able to do it at Darlington, the way all that stuff lined up, just super crazy. I obviously made an episode about it if you haven't seen it. But so if you want to know the full rundown on that one, Avalon Band, what's up? Avalon Band always doing their thing. Check them out on Twitter for sure. I can't wait for Flo and Jamie to get on a car for Denny. Says Napa Racing fan. I think it's going to be funny. I'm here for it. I like the cringe. I embrace the cringe. I know some people don't. I think Breakard, I think he's dreading it as well, if I remember his episode correctly. So there's people that embrace the cringe and laugh about it, and there's people who don't want to see the cringe. So there's two sides of that coin for sure. You can pre-order John Hunter Nemechek's Bologna Burgers back. All right, diecast says in between lanes. So there you go. Backstreet's back. All right, is diecast, and you can pre-order it. So let's make sure that one gets made. Ty Rocket Randall Gibbs says in between lanes, indeed. And there's the paint scheme preview if you wanted to see that. Hey, BB, really enjoyed the trucks and Xfinity. I like this track. I think there will be a tire issue. Do you think there will be a tire issue today? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We've had some races where the tires played into it. Miami Homestead, typically not one of them. You're going to have what you're going to have here is you're going to have guys that rip the top. You're going to have guys that want to try it low. And then you're going to have comers and goers because as those lanes change, and then you're just going to have people with long run cars versus short run cars. This is usually a pretty good finish a la Darlington. Typically, if I'm remembering correctly, there's usually somebody charging at the end, and there's usually somebody fading at the end, and that's just kind of how this one goes. And it's usually one of them's running the top, and one of them's running either the middle or the bottom. A lot of grooves you can run here too, so it's an interesting track for sure. AJ Allmendinger has the best average finish at Homestead, Miami, in the next gen era, says Napa Racing fan, for sure. And I don't think a lot of people think about that, but he is really good here. I wonder if Lionel will make the Hamlin Progressive diecast. If so, add that to the list. Oh, for sure. He's running 18 races with it. It's basically his primary. So there will definitely be a number 11 Petty Blue for James Dennis Allen Hamlin, the law firm of JDA, James Dennis and Allen Hamlin. 31 votes, 18 likes. Likes are free, folks, says Jamie Schweitzer. Hey, so yeah, if you want to hit the like button, feel free to hit the like button. If not, don't worry about it. Not a big deal at the end of the day. NASCAR Gary saying he's going with Kyle Busch of those picks up there earlier. IndyCar, NASCAR at the same time today. That's unfortunate. I hate that. Ferrari DQ'd for the F1 race today, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, that was as chintzy as it gets. The underweight thing, I guess if that's really actually a rule. I don't know that they have a certain weight. I don't know if that's part of the formula. They have to be a certain weight. So that one probably a black and white rule. So I'm not too mad about that one. The excessive wear or excessive scraping or whatever they called on Lewis Hamilton has got to be the dumbest damn thing. As a F1 casual, I'm not like a F1 expert, but that sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, to throw somebody out of their finishing position in a race. So the Lewis Hamilton one feels political, and I don't remember what Gasly underweight as well. Whoever the other one, I don't even know if that's who was the other one disqualified, but the other one that got disqualified, I think they were underweight as well. So at least one of them seems kind of political. So it is what it is. We have the same exact picks, says NASCAR Gary. All right, NASCAR Gary, we got the same picks. So hopefully it works out for us. We'll see. We shall see, though. Should definitely have Gregson in my fantasy lineup. Wouldn't surprise me if he contends for the win today. Homestead might be his best track. Yeah, that's a good point. He was really good there in Xfinity, so don't sleep on him either. Good sleeper pick. Good pick, Napa Racing Fan. I might change my lineup just because you said that, actually. Now, Ryan Blaney, after today's race, will be known as the Dent Wizard for sure. The Dent Wizard Ford Mustang Dark Horse for Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney also uses Dent Wizard, indeed, but hopefully not too much. Hopefully he's not out there running into too many people or getting into too many accidents. BB, will we see a Cup race return first, Rockingham or Hickory? I would probably say Rockingham. Hickory is way far out there. Shout out to Breakhard, indeed. Shout out to Breakhard and everybody. Eric Eastep, Iceberg, Danny B, all of everybody at the Daily Downforce. Who am I missing here? I'm not going to say anymore because I've missed people. NFJJ, everybody. Let's see. I am drinking a Baja Blast and a Blackberry Crown Royal for the Killer Bees, says Jamie Schweitzer. For sure. There you go. Blackberry Crown. A very popular choice for sure. I like Kyle Busch's scheme for today. Add that to my diecast list. Says in between the lanes. I like Kyle Busch. I just read that one. Jamie Schweitzer, Baja Blast is the best. Baja Blast for sure. Baja Blast off to the next level if you mix them together there. Let's see. Chase Elliott win today. I'm dying on that hill, says Joseph Wooten. It is a pretty good track for Chase Elliott. It's pretty good Hendrick track, really, overall. So any of your Hendrick picks probably going to be a solid pick for sure. BB, my diecast list is like a scroll from medieval times. That's a restaurant, and that's from a movie, though, actually. Cable Guy. They fight in medieval times, and Jim Carrey goes into this crazy medieval times character or whatever, and somebody in there screams medieval times. So that's where that was from. The ADD is real. Just woke up. Brain is active. Body is very tired, though. Let's see. Yes, Gasly was the other one who was DQ'd in F1, says Napa Racing Fan. Okay, so I actually remembered something. A rare moment of quality for the channel. On the IndyCar side, shout out to David Land. Oh, for sure. David Land doing as far as IndyCar information, it all comes from David Land. So whatever David Land says is pretty much where all my IndyCar information and knowledge comes from, unless I get a chance to actually watch the race. So shout out to him for sure. Let's see. They showed a Rockingham ad during the truck race Friday night without showing Rockingham. Oh God. Great promotion. At least it's being promoted, though, for sure. At least they're promoting the race. And I think Easter weekend is going to be popular for them. I think it's going to sell out for sure. BB F1 excessive wear rule has been around for 40 plus years. Quite a few have been DQ'd, says Bruce Garvey. For sure, I'm sure. It just sounds stupid to me, but it is what it is. I'm sure it's a safety issue. They're going to say it's a safety issue, and I'm going to look like a jerk for disagreeing with it. But it just seems chintzy because I'm a Ferrari fan. I'll just be honest with you. I'm pissed off that Ferrari got thrown out. So that's pretty much all it boils down to. Being a super casual too. Like they threw my team out. Obviously, the F1 sanctioning body is wrong. So that's 100% where I'm coming from with that. To be totally fair and totally honest. Barry may have won the race, But my Uber driver from the track back to the hotel was the fastest car in Vegas last week. Says Say Kyle, my man, Say Kyle, enjoying the race there live. So shout out to you. I hope it was. I'm sure it was a good time. Looked like a good time from what I saw. Let's see. So yeah, glad you enjoyed the event, my friend. I'm not excited for the thermal duel with IndyCar, but very excited for Homestead. We'll be watching both simultaneously. As an Napa race fan, yeah, I hate it. I hate it that they're going head to head. BB either wants Kyle Kirkwood, facts. Scott Dixon. Let's just flip that a little bit. We're gonna put them in actual order. Scott Dixon, I want to win first, then Kyle Kirkwood, then Scott McLaughlin. That's the official power rankings for me in IndyCar. So Scott Dixon, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin. Those are my favorites in that particular deal. To win the thermal today, says in between the lanes, and I think Scott Dixon and Scott McLaughlin are both New Zealanders as well. So and an SVG connection there. I think they're all from New Zealand, maybe Australia, but I think they're all from New Zealand. Let's see. I'm predicting a questionable pit strategy turning into the win for sliced bread in Homestead, says Jamie Schweitzer. It could be. It could be another race like we had last week where their cautions come at the wrong time, so that might happen as well. Don't know how Fox dropped the ball this week, but NASCAR and IndyCar directly competing against each other, says Cody Ledger. It is unfortunate. More like NASCAR dropped the ball with this terrible cable-heavy TV deal for fans because of the money grab, says Napa. Barry is going to go back to back, says Bruce Reed. It's a good track for him. He's got a lot of speed. He's sitting in that Penske prepared Wood Brothers Ford Mustang dark horse. So I think he's got a good chance. Penske's really good here as well as Hendrick. Historically, Joe Gibbs Racing, or a Toyota, I should say. Toyota also good. When I say Joe Gibbs Racing, I include 2311 in there because they're so closely aligned. I know 2311 does their own thing now, but they are so closely aligned. That's what I mean when I say Toyota. Not to exclude Legacy, but Legacy's out there doing their own thing. So they're either hit or miss over there at Legacy. BB lowered F1 car much faster. All the cars tried to run cars that were wore bottom out. They had to make the rules, says Bruce Garvey. Okay, so it makes sense. You're trying to gain. It's basically a ride height rule, is more or less, but they've called it something else. So I got you. Still mad about it. Free Ferrari. They did nothing wrong. So anyway, Vegas race experience was great. Would highly recommend going. Even the girlfriend who never watches had a blast. I plan on going one day. It's definitely on my bucket list. So definitely want to check it out and go there for sure. It's really high, so it might happen as soon as next year. NASCAR is the National Association of Streaming and Cable TV Auto Racing Network, says Napa Racing Fan. It is. They do like the cable, and they do like the streaming, and they do like the remote booth apparently for certain races as well. Zach Albright, what's up, my dude? Good to see you on for sure. I hope you're doing good in your neck of the woods, selling a bunch of houses, making all that bank. Let's see. Will Larson find a way to lose again, says Timber Ace? Oh, that's a good question. So a lot of people saying he screwed up the restart. A lot of I think he was saying that he got jacked up from behind, so he couldn't get going anyway. So it just depends on your perspective on that one. I haven't seen it yet. Didn't get a chance to check out the replay. But that's certainly going to be a debate. And when I do get a chance to see the replay, I might include it in the video or something for this week. So I don't know. Let's see. Hope to see Bowman stay up front and lead some laps today. Maybe even a win, says Never Race Fan. Yeah, I think anybody in a Penske, anybody in a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, and I think anybody in a Hendrick car have a good chance for sure today. Seems to be numbers wise one of their tracks. Watch some stadium truck racing. Max Gordon is something to watch. Sorry about Dad Robbie making him do everything, says Brickyard Brickhead. The Gordon lineage for sure. There's a lot of talent there. If they can keep the temper, Robbie Gordon's biggest thing was just keeping his temper under control. If he could have done that, I think he would have been so much better in the Cup Series. But he was, and even Tony Stewart said it when he was on the Dale Jr. Download. You could put Robbie Gordon in any car, and he'll get you 90% of the way there within like a week of being in that car. He was just that type of talent. Just had to get the other 10% there. Let's see. Hockey took the money for years ago when they left ESPN for NBC Sports. Their viewership never recovered, says Bruce Carvey. I remember that hockey at one point was bigger than was trending to be bigger than the NBA, and then they took that money grab with ESPN, and it definitely stunted their growth quite a bit. You see the host of our GTA video that dropped this morning. Pretty funny. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So send it to me. Send it to me if you've got it somewhere. If not, I'll look it up when I get off here. Let's see. When I get off here, haha, I said that. Let's see. There we go. I've written it down poorly so that at some point I will remember it and I will look it up. So yes, I will check it out. NHL has less national TV games now. Do that deal. Hey, the ESPN Plus exclusive games. Oh yeah, ESPN Plus. Does that even still exist? It's a thing. It's a thing. It's there. Green White Checkers has destroyed NASCAR racing, says Tim Bradburn. That one, I'm on. I know not a lot of people like it, but I will die on that hill with you as well, Tim Bradburn. Just when the race ends is when the race ends. If the race ends under caution, it ends under caution. Like you shouldn't have wrecked. Sorry for your luck, friend. But it should go the scheduled distance. Period. That's I will die on that hill. I'm with you on that one. Not a popular opinion I have. A lot of people disagree with it, but that's how I view it, 100% as well. Let's see here. Let's see. In your XDM says Osaka. All right, so I need to go over to. I haven't checked any social media. I need to go check all that stuff. It's been a while. It's been wild since Thursday night. It's been wild since then. So whenever I made the last video, I've been busy since. So I'll check all that stuff. Appreciate you there, say Kyle. UConn, Florida tied 31-31 at half. Yeah, I haven't even watched any of the college basketball. I heard UNC lost, I guess I should say, yesterday. Many fan, I hate it for them that they made the tournament because they didn't deserve to be in there. But glad they lost. Many fans love overtime. I don't, however, says Napa Race fan. Yep, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. But obviously, a lot more people actually, I think, feel like disagree with that. In general, at least from anecdotal evidence, Larson was by far the biggest, was the best yesterday. It was nice to see Algar have some good luck for a change, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, so maybe Algar's bad luck is officially over, and this is the good luck Algar era. Do you think NASCAR should penalize a driver that jacks up the leader on a restart, says Escobar? Oh man, it really would, and I hate to say this, but it would have to be like a situational thing. Was it on purpose? Did that driver miss a shift? Like you would have to have irrefutable evidence that they did it on purpose. But if you have irrefutable evidence that they did it on purpose, maybe you can make the move then. So it would have to be something that was just absolutely blatant. If you had to make that call, because it would be such a judgment call otherwise, it would be hard to make. But good question, Escobar. It's a tough one to answer. The PRN coverage said the restart was under review, but they let it slide. How does the control car get jacked up if nobody can go before he gasses up in the restart zone? What am I missing? Says Tim Brace. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to watch it for sure. And obviously, I'm a Kyle Larson fan, so I'm probably gonna side with him 100%. I like Sam Mayer too, though, so I don't know. I like Kyle Larson better though, so definitely probably gonna side with Kyle Larson regardless of what I see. Just to be totally honest, 292 years they combined the combined age of Roger Penske, Joe Gibbs, uh, Richard Petty, and Rick Hendrick, the baby of the group, 75 years old, says Jamie Schweitzer. That's crazy. That's crazy for sure. They look like they're still moving around and getting along well, so that's the best part about all of it. BB, glad you saw the Evans car. They watched him many times at the local track, and I met him a few times. Says Bruce Garvey, really sweet car. I was glad. Like you always hear stories about him and stuff like that, and I always wanted to see the car, but every time I went to like a museum or something, his car had been cycled out or whatever. So actually to see it in person, and the crazy Matthew Dillner was actually taking the cover off of it. Like I didn't even know that was the car there. That car was sitting there all weekend and had a cover on it. Matthew Dillner comes over there and just pulls a cover off, and he's putting like a crown on it, and he's taking pictures of it and stuff like that. And I'm like, holy crap, that's Richie Evans' car. So like I tried not to get in his way because he was doing his thing, but I tried to go over there and take some pictures of it and get a good angle of it. So I got some pretty good pictures. So I'll put them up on I guess I'll throw them up on X. I don't know. I don't have a really good. I guess I could throw them up on the YouTube channel thing too. So I guess I'll throw them up there so everybody can see them. I took some pictures though, and they're on the phone, but I feel like they came out pretty decent. So I'll put them up so everybody can see them. Um, I tried to put them up in Discord, but they didn't go through. So I'll try to put them up in the Discord as well. So yeah, that was really cool to see. Let's see, Nathan Campbell, what's up, my friend? I would take today's NHL over today's NBA, says Joseph Wooten. Hey y'all, what's up, Crystal Sparkles? What's up, Crystal? Good to see you on here as always. Larson, maybe you should have chose the outside lane for the restart, but definitely not his fault. He lost, says Napa Racing fan. It's less than a month until Rockingham's return. Would like to see Casey Kane somehow in the Xfinity Series race. Maybe they can work out a deal for sure. We'll see. We'll see for sure. I think that is the race he's running though, isn't he? Is he's running for RCR there? Yeah, he's running. He's running Xfinity for RCR. He's going to drive the third RCR car there, so he will be. He will be running there. Or maybe you're saying you would like to go there to see him. You're trying to get there. I got you. Still tired from yesterday. Apparently, I'm picking up what you're putting down now, Napa Racing fan. Sorry about that. BB, did you think of the Seabell pit stop and the other pit stop? What did you think? Okay, I got you. BB, what did you think of the Seabell pit stop and the other pit stops? I think what he did is going to be fine because he did it for safety. If NASCAR changes that rule, I didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't a big deal to me. He still had to go to the back. He didn't gain an advantage. He still had to go to the back of the longest line. So that wasn't a big deal to me. A lot of people didn't like it and wanted a bigger penalty. They wanted the 1 lap penalty from last season, but NASCAR changed that rule. So if NASCAR does anything to change the rule, it would have to be like if it's a safety thing, you can stop in another team's pit if it's a safety thing. But if it's not a safety thing, you're going to get penalized 1 lap. That would probably be the best way to fix it if NASCAR does anything. But oh god, Ford, can't remember his first name right now off the top of my head. He came out and said that they're probably not going to change the rule at all because they don't think it's going to be some rampant thing that you see a bunch of teams trying to do to gain an advantage. Like if you just wanted extra gas, just stay in your pit stall and get the extra gas. Some people were talking about, oh, what if they stop in another team's pit stall and get extra gas? Well, they probably wouldn't do that. They would just go to their pit stall and do that. So I don't know. I don't know how people are working it up in their brain that you're going to get an extra advantage by stopping in somebody else's pit stall and going to the end of the longest line on the restart. I don't think anybody's going to gain that advantage and win a race. So to be totally honest, I think it's much ado about nothing at the end of the day. There is a penalty for it. He served his penalty. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. But I will say this: if that's the only thing about that race that people were complaining about, that was a pretty popular race. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty that's a as pretty narrow a rule selection controversy as I can remember. But I didn't see it as a big deal, and that doesn't mean anything. It just means I didn't see it as a big deal. A lot of people did see it as a big deal, so I'm not trying to discredit their thoughts on it. I just can't pretend that I thought it was a big deal when I didn't. Let's see. Nathan Campbell, yes. B, what's up, my friend? Hey, BB Ego Larson, says Mike Honcho. Mike Honcho in the house. Larson, definitely one of his better tracks. They said the only way they were penalized him if people were going to fuel up, says Nathan Campbell. Yeah, and that might get a bigger penalty, but we'll see. Got to see Richie Evans in a match race with Canadian great Junior Handley. Just two of them. They wrecked, says Perry Earl. That's par for the course for modifieds. Unfortunately, they get after it, and those cars are hard to handle. So they're really throwing them in there sometimes. Sometimes they lose control of them. I never forgot the 2021 Vegas truck race where 13 trucks were sponsored by Camping World. Great time for spotters, says Napa Race fan. And shout out to Camping World and Marcus Lemonis for doing that. That was a really cool deal, man. He made sure everybody got a sponsor that race. Missed the days of single file restarts with lap cars on the inside. It would change that lap cars to the outside. I would change that to lap cars on the outside, says Escobar. That's probably not a bad change as far as that goes. Pretty cool. Rockingham for 2027 All-Star race, says Jamie Schweitzer. That would be pretty cool. People just crying because it's JGR, says Bumblebee. And there's always going to be that aspect of it. If it's Hendrick, JGR, who's another team, maybe Penske is hated now because they've won 3 of the last 3 titles. People are going to cry over certain teams regardless. So that's actually a good point too. All the wheel fall offs too much, says Crystal Sparkle. So we've got too much fall off for this race. I haven't had a chance to see any of the practices, so I'm not necessarily on top of that like I normally would be. So I have to go back retroactively and check some of that out. Ty Gibbs finally gets some positive momentum today, as I predicted. He'll leave with a top 10 finish. Yeah, for sure. There's been too many videos about Ty Gibbs going through a slump. Like, I get it. It's been a slow news cycle for about a month as far as NASCAR stuff. But Ty Gibbs is going to come out of this. Like, let's be real. The Ty Gibbs slump, it's a lot about nothing. Every race car driver in their career goes through a slump. Ty Gibbs is going through a slump. He'll snap out of it. He'll be all right. Bill received a penalty from having to restart at the tail end of the field. Isn't that enough? Says Napa race fan. I think so too, but some people didn't see it that way. 19 pit crew saved us 10 playoff points. He's with JGR. Ty Gibbs can still make the playoffs. He's with JGR, says Napa Racing Fan. 19 pit crew saved us 10 laps of caution and 10 minutes of commercials, says Brickyard Brickhead. For sure. That's a good way to look at it, too. He saved us another caution. Yeah, I agree with you, Napa Racing Fan. Ty Gibbs can definitely still make the playoffs for sure. For the poll, Larson will have the pace. Reddick will have the better finish, says Charlotte. That's a good take. Good take. I could definitely see that. I would love to see Mark Martin race these cars. He always said his success in the Busch Series and IROC was because of the lack of horsepower, which these cars have today, says Escobar. Okay, so that's a good. I'd never thought about that, but that's definitely worth would be worth seeing for sure. But he's definitely said he's not ever going to do it again. So he's done. Gibbs had a good long run speed in practice, says Timber Ace. Uh, Wherewithal KBF finish today. BB says Jamie Schweitzer. I think Kyle Busch will probably get a top 15 at least. I think that's safe to say, 100%. I think Austin Dillon by the end of this race, as long as he doesn't get in a wreck or something like that, he'll probably find another top 15 as well. I feel like RCR has had pretty good speed to start this season off with relative to last season. So I think the boys down there in Welcome, North Carolina, one Welcome have turned it around, including Colleague. One Welcome. Colleague has turned it around as well. Don't sleep on Colleague. They've kind of had it going on too. All right. Final results of the poll question. 70% of y'all are going with Kyle Larson. 30% going with Tyler Reddick. So looks like that's who you're going with here, Larson. So I like it. Ty Gibbs, slump talk is overdone. Kid won everything coming up to Cup, lost his dad the day he won the Xfinity title. You're kidding yourself if you think losing your dad and finding out you aren't the big fish, aren't the driving factors. Says Charlotte. Yeah, it's a big thing to go through for sure. Whenever you lose somebody like that in your life, that's definitely going to be a big thing to go through. So that definitely hurts, and that's definitely going to change you as a person too. And I do think he will bounce back, though. I think he'll bounce back and he'll be fine. If Ty doesn't do well today, I could say something is wrong with him, says Escobar. I think he does well, barring, I mean, anybody can get in a wreck at any time, but I think he's going to have speed, and he's had speed. Some of these races where he finished poorly, he had speed and got taken out. How many times has he jumped over another car this year, too? So, like, some of it's just bad luck. Yeah, I think Ty Gibbs is 100% going to bounce back, and he'll be fine. Like, every driver goes through a slump, and to Charlotte's point, probably some reasons for that slump a little bit too. People will say Ty will just be another Austin Dillon or also nuts, says Charlotte. And I will say people that act like saying you're as bad as Austin Dillon is an insult. The dude has won a Coke 600, a Daytona 500, what did he win? He won Texas. He won Richmond. He's won some big races. And let's not forget he's a Truck Series champion and an Xfinity Series champion. So I mean, let's not act like Austin Dillon's career. Like if I had Austin Dillon's career, I wouldn't be sad about it. Not at all. I guess that I should make that a poll question one year. Whose career would you rather have, Eric Almirola's or Austin Dillon's? That would be like a real question to ask. I don't know. I never cared for Ty, but I will say he has talent. I think him not having his dad affects him, says Escobar. Yeah, I mean that's a big part of your life. You know, that was probably one of the parents. I'm sure he asked his mom about stuff too, but that was the male figure in your life that you would go and ask advice from and stuff. So now that's gone. So that's a big change up. Dillon is way better than Menard and Harrison Burton, says Say Kyle. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I get it to an extent. He's driving the 3-car, and people want to cry about that, and then the same people that pull for Dale Jr. will call Austin Dillon a nepo baby. So I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. 83 got a hand from NASCAR on that Xfinity title. Hornish had a real good shot with a short run speed until they burnt up enough laps under caution, says Charlotte. NASCAR is going to NASCAR, Charlotte. I don't, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that one. The officiating has always been trash. So I'm not gonna disagree at all. But I'm just saying that the NASCAR officiating, I swear, if you're pulling for the other driver that gets screwed on it, it's totally it's. I agree with you. It's totally frustrating. Austin Dillon gets most of the hate for driving the three. I agree. I think that's where the vast majority of it comes from too, Charlotte. 100%. I'd rather have Austin Dillon's career than Ron Hornaday's, and Hornaday is a Hall of Famer, says Jesse Daly. Yeah, that Daytona 500 for me, that Daytona 500 alone, like I'd be happy with that, dude. Like for 100%. I agree with you. So what about Kyle Petty driving for his dad? Says PC gone rogue. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a family tradition on one end, but then when another driver does it, it's nepotism. It's it's so freaking crazy in this sport. Which way that pendulum swings from driver to driver. I don't know. It never bothered me at all as long as they're nice and look. Ty Gibbs has had his moments in front of the camera, but if you talk to anybody about Ty Gibbs in the racing community, he's a very nice kid. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He's had some bad moments in front of camera. I'll give you that, but he's a very respectful young man. Uh, Off camera, I guess would be the best way to put it. So it is what it is, and also he's a young kid. He's basically a guy that grew up on camera too. So I mean, if you think about when you're 17, 18, 19, you're not gonna. I said a lot of stupid stuff. Thank God a camera wasn't pointed in my face when I said it. So I will throw that out there as well. Thank goodness for racing families everywhere. It says Brickyard Brickhead. It used to piss me off seeing Austin with the number 3 in the same font. Now it's like I'm blind to it. I don't even see it anymore. It says I like it because he's out there keeping the number alive too. I hope that font stays in there forever. Same thing with the 43 font. As far as that goes, KP and Dale Jr. Have the AD isn't an Earnhardt or a Childress by name, so it's somehow different. Says Charlotte. That's probably a good point too. Did you watch Wyatt Miller winning at Hickory? I didn't. I didn't see. I was at South Boston, so I didn't get to see any of it. I saw the photo of him in Victory Lane. So cool deal for him in the old 73 white car with a orange 73 number. Wyatt Miller getting it done for the Earnhardt gang. Have the name. Talking about having the last name, says Charlotte. Sorry, I was picking Larson first on Earth too, due to being wrecked by the third-rated driver, says Jamie Schweitzer. I had Richard Petty passed away while driving the 43 with that font. Would you feel the same, says Escobar? Hell yeah. I want those. Here's the deal, man. I want that number out there for as long as humanly possible. Because when you look at that number, you'll be like, okay, this guy's driving it, but that number's famous because such and such used to drive it. So it is what it is. Same thing with the 28. I'd love to see the 28 back out there because there's going to be a generation of kids that they're never going to know who Davey Allison was because there's no, after a certain point, what, if I go to a racetrack, I can point at the number 3 and say, hey, Dale Earnhardt used to drive that. I can point at the 43 and say, hey, there used to be a blue car with that font and Richard Petty used to drive that. If I'm a Davey Allison fan and I go to a NASCAR track, what can I point at a NASCAR race when I am alive there and say, hey, Davey Allison used to do that? Nothing. So there you go. That's where I'm coming from with it. Dale was about done being the man when he passed, says Charlotte Ander. Let's see. I'm okay with it being done every once in a while, but every race, that's what I had an issue with, says Escobar. 28 is gone now, and people don't even know about Davey, says Jesse Daly. Exactly my point. When the numbers are out the announcers talked about who drove that number, says PC Gone Rogue. Exactly. Fireball Roberts drove 22 and always will be the 22 driver, says Jamie Schweitzer. I'm still salty about them not letting Junior have the 28 at HMS. There you go. 28 doesn't make sense to me. He didn't die in that car. It was used for many years after his death. Exactly. Great. That's a great point too, Escobar. Now Yates family won't let it be raced. Yeah, it's like the Yates family wants control of the 28. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for sure. And to their credit, they did change the 28 font when Ernie Irvan and I guess Dale Jarrett and Ernie Irvan split a year because Ernie Irvan got hurt in it, and then the 88 became a thing. But anyway, Kind of is what it is. We missed out on a hell of a rivalry with the 24 and the 28. Oh yeah, dude, for sure, man. Like Davey Allison would have been Ford's dude for a long time. He would have filled that when Bill Elliott tried to do his own team and stuff like that after the Junior Johnson stuff. He would have filled that Bill Elliott gap as being Toyota's main dude. Even though Dale Jarrett filled that gap nicely too. Let's not act like Dale Jarrett was any type of slouch. Dale Jarrett got it done in the '88. Not that would have been nasty, but man, the trading of wins would have been wild in the '90s. Yeah, so that's another thing. There's and it's always like that, but that's some of Jeff Gordon's wins would have been a lot harder if he got them at all for sure if that 28 was out there because Davey Allison was about to be in his peak. I'm okay with pitting in uh, another team's car. Ever see a short tracker come off with a flat and the closest guys to him change it for him? 100%. We do it in the late model deal all the time and add the grassroots level. Escobar, they blame not using the 28 on Haviland. Uh, they don't own the number. I don't think they sponsor anyone anymore, says Escobar. Yeah, I forget who bought Haviland out. I need to go. I need to go check that one out. I was a Davey Allison fan and a junior fan. I would have it would have been a healing like the eight winning the July Daytona 2001 win was to everyone else. I do wish they retired the three. I still don't like it on track, says Gojo. Uh, is the beard sponsored by YouTube? Says Chris Viegas. I'm not sponsored by YouTube, although they do pay me AdSense. So I guess technically in a way, I don't know. I don't know how all that works. Who gets the fastest lap, BB? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to say Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick's probably going to put down a lap here. Either him or Kyle Larson will probably put down the fastest lap here today at Homestead, Miami. Noah Gregson. Noah Gregson is a wild card for the fastest lap for sure as well. All right. That's the end of this one. Kyle Larson, 72%. Final results of the poll question. Enjoy the race. Hope your driver does well. Unless you're pulling against my driver. All right. See you guys on the post race. Peace.